Hi everyone, welcome to KAPYAP, which is basically an OSU podcast where I'll just basically be talking. As you guys can see from the overlay on this video right here, you can see these four corners. So as you can see, there's going to be usually two guests. It's just me right now, but sometimes it'll just me like some of these podcasts, because I know some of you guys just want to like hear me talk, but sometimes I'm just going to have like other guests on, and it's going to be the other screen, like the other side. And how this is going to work is that we're going to be talking like this is a podcast style. Like I'm going to be asking them a question, I'll be talking about shit, and I'm also going to be playing OSU. So let me just like hop on a map and shit while I'm like playing or while I'm talking, so I could give you like the vibe of like how it would feel like. But basically we're gonna be out here playing these maps, and I'm basically just playing the maps and shit, just talking about whatever the fuck, and that's just like the vibe, you know. And so I feel like this is something that I got from the Hot Wings challenge. So if you guys don't know what Hot Wings is, it's kind of like an interview where they have these interviews and they're like, okay, we want you to eat these spicy wings, and these spicy wings like really hot, like Carolina Reaper 3 million Scovilles, way above the spice tolerance of an average white man in American society. And these guys are out here eating the Carolina Reapers, and they're just like twerking all over the place, being asked like the most crazy questions. Like they'll be asked really deep questions while they're eating the spicy peppers, eating the wings. And I feel like the appeal here is that playing OSU while being asked questions is kind of like a similar boat, because OSU is like such a high focus game, but you're trying to talk like this. But of course I know it's gonna be really difficult, because I know that some people out here will just not be able to talk at all while they're trying to play. Like I know some of you guys are trying to play OSU, and then you guys are like, oh my god, I can't even like talk while I'm playing OSU, I'm trying to FC and shit. And like obviously, like I notice myself personally when I'm playing OSU, I'm kind of just like suffering my performance as well, but I am able to have this weird ability to talk and play OSU at the same time. Like it's kind of a multitasking move. But yeah, these podcast videos, this is just a trial episode where I'm kind of just trying to give you guys the sample here. I'm gonna get other guests on in the future, or it'll just be me with like a script, and I'll be talking about whatever the fuck I need to talk about in these videos. But the podcast videos are most likely not gonna have the topics that I actually make of my regular videos. These podcast videos, I can't fucking speak. The podcast ideas, like whatever the topics are, they're gonna be mostly not my main content. Like I'm gonna be talking about like Catfucker 92 or something. You probably won't hear me talk about it in podcasts. It's gonna be something else completely novel. So if you guys want to listen to like a very long form version of KAPNOYR yapping about some OSU shit, or sometimes it'll just not even be OSU stuff. Like I feel like the value proposition of this podcast is I'm out here playing OSU while I'm talking to you guys, and I think you guys can also hear my tapping while I'm playing. I'm trying to keep it really quiet, and I'm kind of just really talking to the mic, getting real close up to it. Another thing about these podcasts is that I was kind of inspired by this by looking at Moist Critical's podcast, like his Jack podcast, the official podcast. So the overlay of this looks kind of similar to that. And also I'm kind of inspired by Rectagon's podcast, When You Hear It, where he kind of has like a group of 4 people. But for my videos, it's just going to be like me talking to the camera, and there's also going to be the OSU gameplay here where I'm talking. And also it's not going to be like 4 people like in Rectagon's podcast. It's probably just going to be me and one other person max, like 2 people, because I feel like that experience of talking to another person instead of like having a group of 4 people trying to talk together, it's much more intimate. I feel like you'll get a lot more value from that than if there was like 4 of us talking. And also, I don't even know how the fuck I would fit that all on one screen. Like, how would you fit like 4 people with talking and their gameplay, like their head cams? Like maybe they don't want to do face cam, and I'll just put like a static picture. It'll just be their gameplay. Like how the fuck are you gonna do their gameplay and then them talking at the same time? Like 4 people on the screen. How the fuck is that even gonna happen? But as you guys can see from my video overlay, I basically made this shit with like a bunch of free tools. Like the logo here, I made that shit with logo.com. We also got these logos. I don't know, it's basically a bunch of free tools. And you guys are probably thinking, wow, I didn't know you were such a graphic designer, KAPNOYR. And my answer to that is yeah, of course I am. But that's pretty much the trial version of the KAPYAP. If you guys are interested in getting more of the KAPYAP podcast episodes, I believe I will upload them maybe weekly, maybe more than once a week. We'll see. But they're gonna come in at least weekly, and it's gonna be at least 1 KAPYAP per week. And it might be more, like depending on the guests that I get on and the podcast and the topics I want to talk about. But that's pretty much all I want to say in this trial version of the KAPYAP, and I'll see y'all guys in the next one.